Okay, so this week we're going to be doing some work with looking at solving equations, except the more important piece I think to understand is that when we're solving equations, we shouldn't just be able to solve them. We should also be able to explain if something is right or wrong and be able to talk about why it's right or wrong. Okay, so hopefully we would recognize that maybe if we had an equation like this, okay, so 4 and then in parentheses x plus 5 minus 7 equals 20. Okay, we should recognize that when we look at this problem, there are steps we can take to solve for x. Okay, so maybe what we'll do first is we'll distribute and we'll pass out this 4. Right? We should be able to explain that the reason why we can do that is because we can simplify when we see parentheses by using the distributive property, and we do that with multiplication. And so this would turn into 4x plus 20 minus 7 equals 20. Okay, and maybe what we would do next is then combine like terms here. Okay, we should be able to then say, well, we're just taking a positive 20 minus a 7. Those are like terms, and we can get a positive 13. Okay, we could then subtract 13. We should be able to explain that we are using an inverse operation, and whatever we do to one side of the equal sign, we also have to do to the other. And then we will use undo multiplication with division. And this is already reduced. Oops, sorry, that's a 4. So we get an answer of 7 over 4. Okay, again, the important piece that we want to make the progress to isn't just that we can solve this, but we can talk about how we're solving it and whether or not those steps are okay. The other piece that then is really important is, while yes, we often talk about in our math class of that if we want to solve, it would be a good idea to distribute first. That isn't actually something that says you absolutely have to distribute first, otherwise you must be wrong. Okay, instead we say we'll distribute first so that we're able to simplify. Okay, which means we could also look at this problem. Okay, and there are some other steps that we could take to solve it. Maybe the first thing that we want to do is we want to add 7. Right? That 7 isn't inside the parentheses, and it is okay that we undo subtraction with addition, and we're doing that to both sides. And so that would be an equally fair step for starting to solve this problem. It would also be okay if when we looked at this problem, okay, maybe we decide to distribute first. But maybe instead of combining these like terms, maybe the next thing we want to do is move the 7. Okay, as long as you can give a good justification as to why your step is correct, okay, that's what we need to be able to do. So you're going to look at a couple, a problem with a couple different possible steps to solve it, and then be justifying if they're right or wrong.